Welcome to the Tennis Warehouse racket review of the Head Extreme Tour. Updated with Auxetic technology to optimize feel and response, the Extreme Tour swings incredibly fast despite being the heaviest racket in the Extreme family. With a 98 square inch head and a 16 by 19 string pattern, this lively racket offers easy targeting to experienced players looking for extra maneuverability. This was one of those rackets that I went down to the court without checking the specs beforehand, and it was probably a good thing because initially on paper, the specs don't actually fit into what I normally gravitate towards as far as rackets go, but we've been testing a lot of rackets that have been coming in super hefty, high swing weights, so this was a really nice change from that. This racket swung explosively fast, yet I felt I still had good mass behind the ball. For its weight, it felt very stable. Now, I'm not saying that the swing weight of this one could compare to a 335 swing weight. A 335 would definitely have more plow through behind it, but for what this racket did offer, I found it really fun to play with my angles and get the ball arcing up higher than how I normally hit the ball. At net, I felt like I needed to really emphasize a punch a little bit more to get my shots penetrating better. And at times, I did just miss a little weight in the head of this racket, but that just meant this is a great platform for customization. All in all, a really speedy, whippy racket.
I know I always say I'm really happy to be named to this playtest. This was especially true. I really enjoyed the Extreme Tour for a variety of reasons. One is that this seems to me to be a first strike racket, just a rather low powered one. As Michelle mentioned that, maybe some people would want to add some weight to the hoop. I noticed this racket really encouraged me to swing faster. I found it a little bit challenging to play my defense counterpunch style just because there wasn't enough weight in the hoop. But again, that kind of forced my swing speed to increase, and I really got a lot of good results. By the end of the play test, it was less erratic. I definitely like the kind of squeezed together 16-19 pattern. It has a little lower launch angle than, say, an Extreme MP. And the beam didn't change. It's still a 23, 22, 21 flare, so you've got good feel, good flex. Overall, just a great racket. Something in an ideal sense, I might add a little weight to the hoop just so that I could continue to play a little more defensively. But overall, just a great first strike racket. That said, let's check in with our play testers on the other side of the continent and see what they have to say about the new 2022 Head Extreme Tour.
Now, I was excited to be able to test out the Extreme as well, because as with all of the other Auxetic head rackets, it just has a really great feel to it. So kind of the main takeaway, it is really similar to the previous generation, but this one does have a lower stiffness. So along with that Auxetic technology, I just noticed it was very forgiving. For a spin racket, for me, it's super important. At my level, I'm a 4.0, so I don't have the best consistency. So as I whip up through the ball, having that extra consistent swing bed really makes it easier for me to win out matches on the court. One other thing I noticed, sub 320 swing weight kind of makes it very, very fast, very easy to generate power and easy depth. And at my level, at 4.0, maybe even some 4.5 players, I didn't really notice any issues with stability. When I was playing against heavy power players or maybe some 5.0s, that's when I did kind of notice that, but that could easily be countered by adding some weight into the hoop. So overall, if you're somebody who likes these spin-friendly rackets, this one has controllable power, and it's also on that lower end of stiffness versus the competition. So if that's something you're looking for, this is definitely a great racket to check out.
The very first thing that I realized with this racket was just how easy I was able to generate spin. And I come from Europe, I grew up playing on the red clay courts, so I really appreciate a racket that gives me that extra spin on my shots. One more thing that stood out for me right away was just the easy depth from the baseline. I really enjoyed pushing my opponents around and opening up the court with some crazy angles. Actually, I play a lot of doubles nowadays, and my absolute favorite shots with this racket have to be my volleys. I felt super stable at the net, and even if they were just quick reaction volleys and didn't have time to prepare for them, the racket still felt stable and comfortable. If I was really pressed to find something negative to say about this racket, and this would be only a very personal opinion, the beginning of the playtest was a bit difficult for me because sometimes I felt late preparing for my backhands especially, so maneuverability wasn't as easy for me in the beginning. But as the playtest went on, I felt more and more comfortable and adjusted and dialed into the racket. This really wasn't the problem anymore. Overall, if you're a fan of the Extreme line, definitely give this one a go, especially since it feels a bit more plush than the previous versions. Thanks for watching. We strung up our Head Extreme Tour with head Lynx touch and head Hawk touch between 50 and 53 pounds. For more information on this racket and many others, please go check out Tennis Warehouse, Tennis Warehouse Europe, and Tennis Only.